Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Realm of Ori. In this video, we will continue with Volume 16, Chapter 1, The Betrayal, Part 8. And before we start, this video contains spoilers from the Tensura light novel. And by the way guys, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon to get notifications for upcoming videos. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Feldway took action. He didn't care about Bernie, but he knew that if he wanted to take Masayuki, Bernie would get in the way. Bernie had lowered his guard and could have been killed with a single strike. No, it wouldn't matter if Bernie knew or not, because to Feldway, Bernie was just a speck of dust. Feldway pulled out his sword and was about to cut Bernie's head off without making any noise or making it clear that he was there. But what was heard was a clear tone that rang out. It sounded like a sword hitting another sword. "Who is blocking me? What's your name?" As soon as Feldway asked who it was, his surprise went away. The answer came from a young girl who was wearing a mask. "My name is Chronoa. I am a hero. I didn't think I'd ever meet a hero here. So, let me tell you about myself. I am Feldway, Phantom King Feldway." Chronoa didn't worry when she heard his name. She was perfectly in tune with Chloe's mind and had turned into a heartless fighting machine. "Phantom King? So you're the leader of the Phantom tribe, huh? I can't ignore the bad things you've done in front of me, so I've come out just in time to stop this threat to humanity. You are a brave one, Fufufu. You fool, I'll show you what it means to know yourself." As soon as he was done talking, Feldway moved in his bright red uniform, and Chronoa vanished in her white, Holy Spirit armor, in a flash. Red and white lights danced before Masayuki's eyes, and then they both went out at the same time, leaving only the sound of swords clashing one after the other. There was not even a whisper of wind far from any shockwaves. The battle was going on in a place that was hard to imagine. Masayuki had been in trouble before, but the girl in the mask had helped him out. She did it again this time. Even though Masayuki knew that, he wasn't sure if he could help the girl who called herself Chronoa in any way. "Well, what do you think? There's nothing we can do about this. We just can't worry about it. We're doing what we can on our own, so let's go help the other people." Bernie knew that Feldway was going after him because he could hear the sound of the sword strikes. The fact that he couldn't do anything at all to stop them showed him that this enemy was different. It wasn't because the current Bernie was weak, rather, he and Feldway were so far apart in ability that they wouldn't have been able to have a proper fight. If that were true, there would be no reason to go back and forth. The right thing to do was to act in a straightforward and clear way. Bernie showed this way of thinking, which he had learned as a soldier. "Okay, I don't know who Chronoa is, but I'll let her figure it out." Masayuki was used to making things work when things didn't go as planned. So, he decided to obey and leave the scene. Chronoa and Feldway fought, and Masayuki and Bernie had nothing to do with it. But that was only true for a short while. In just a few seconds, there were a lot of attacks and defenses. The battle seemed like it would never end, but then Feldway discovered something. "Ha ha 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 ha. Oh, so it's always been here? I was sure. Veldanava-sama also wanted me to win. What, out of the blue? Huh, it has nothing to do with you. No, I don't mind telling you, since you and I will be friends from now on. Do what I say, Sariel the Hope King." It was a definite order. Michael's ultimate dominion was too much for the angelic ultimate skill to handle. What did you do? Oh, so, you still have some sense of yourself?" As expected, Chronoa, who is known for being the strongest hero, won. "But it's pointless to fight. In just a few hours, I will have full control over you." Feldway was happy about his good luck. Hero Chronoa had been known for her bravery throughout the Empire for a long time. It seemed like a gift from God that the Hope King Sariel had grown inside of her. Chronoa fell to her knees, just as Feldway had hoped. "My name is Sariel. Tell me what to do, Michael-sama." As those cold words came out of her pretty, cherry blossom-colored lips, Chronoa's mask fell away, revealing her true face and beauty. Feldway could not help but feel confident that he would win. "Good. You and Chronoa will work together to kill the boy. I have things to do on the surface, so I'll let you handle the rest." After giving his command, he left the labyrinth. Venom really wanted to sight up at the sky when he saw Masayuki and Bernie running back. Not that he had any reason to be upset. He could feel a scary presence growing in the direction Masayuki ran, and he was starting to worry that he had failed in his mission. "I'm so glad you are all right. Haha, we still have enemies, so it's too early to say that." "You're right. Chronoa is a tough guy. Even though we have a clear advantage in the labyrinth, he is so strong and winning that I don't even know if I can stay alive." Still, he felt better when he saw Masayuki's face for some reason he didn't know. He felt a sudden surge of confidence that he couldn't explain. It made him feel like there was always a way. Minutes and Calgurio seemed to feel the same way, and their expressions were brighter than before. Kukuku, I know this is a bad time, but I'm having a good time. I think you're right. It really feels like I'm fighting alongside His Majesty. The soldiers of the Empire laughed. Even the vampires, who shouldn't have cared about the fight, seemed to be getting into it. While this was going on, Chronoa was very confused. He was about to attack when another Masayuki came out of nowhere. Chronoa wasn't sure he knew where he was, but when he looked again, he saw that there were in fact two Masayukis. That meant one of them was not who they said they were. One of them was Jiwoo dressed up as Masayuki, and the other was Masayuki himself. How dare you underestimate me? You're just a bunch of worms who won't give up. Chronoa was very angry, but he had no way of knowing which one was the real one. His senses told him that they were both weak and of little importance. That made it even more of a problem. If Chronoa got serious, they could both be in trouble and die. If that was true, there was no way to know where they would go to get away. So, Chronoa knew he would have to calm down even more to keep from killing the wrong person. And then someone came along to help. Is it Chronoa Dono? My name is Sariel. I'm here because Michael-sama told me to. That'd be helpful. The Masayuki on the right should be your goal. Do not kill him, just take him alive. Chronoa chose one at random, and whether it was good or bad, the one he chose was the real one. Understood. Sariel gave a nod and then looked at Masayuki. Masayuki could tell this, so he got impatient. They saw each other. Sariel? I thought that girl's name was Chronoa before, but I don't know how she went over to the enemy so quickly. Masayuki was perplexed and despondent, but Chronoa's beauty was too alluring for him to be afraid. Or, he didn't have time to feel it. What's happening? This girl is so adorable. Masayuki was so surprised that he forgot he was in the middle of the battle. If he had to say one thing about her, that's it. It would be more accurate to say that she was the most beautiful girl in the world. Masayuki reached the same conclusion as a certain demon lord with blonde hair. Don't wear a mask to begin with. Masayuki even started to complain about things that didn't matter. However, behind those silly thoughts was a glimmer of hope. Masayuki was ready to die when Sariel reached for her sword. Maybe this was why a thought popped up in his mind like a magic lantern. She's a really pretty girl, right? She's the most gorgeous girl I've ever seen. As soon as that thought came to Masayuki's mind, he felt a terrible chill. His instincts to stay alive were yelling at him that he shouldn't think about it anymore. So he decided to go with what he felt. Or not, second. Yes, the second most beautiful one. The most beautiful thing is still, at the time, he thought of the beautiful girl with blue hair whom he had last seen in his original world. Yes, that's definitely her. The kind of person who is gentle and mature at the same time. A perfect score. Masayuki's dreams wouldn't stop, not even when he was dying. But that was the right thing to do. Confirmed. The true love of the champion has been found. The fourth secret requirement has been met. The unique skill, Chosen One, has become the ultimate skill, King of Heroes. Huh? Masayuki was stunned. First, though. Why did I end up with an ultimate skill without doing anything? I have to prove myself. In his mind, Masayuki yelled. It was too much, and Masayuki wanted to ask the voice of the world about it. But even if you complained about the results, nothing would change. Even if he got an ultimate skill he didn't know how to use, he still couldn't beat Sariel when she was in front of him. It's a great ability, but it's too late to use it now. Well, I did the best I could, so I might as well go out in style. Masayuki smiled as he thought about this. The result was very big. Keep His Majesty safe. The other soldiers, who had been staying away because they were in the way, started to commit suicide without caring about their own lives. This is what happened to people farther away, so the changes in people who were closer were even more noticeable. The power is rising. I don't think I can lose. Calgurio slashed at Chronoa while yelling loudly. Calgurio had been on the defensive until now, but his desperate attack startled Chronoa for a brief moment. Minutes didn't want to lose. Listen up, Imperial soldiers. Let His Majesty the Emperor see for himself how brave we are. While he was shouting these words to get the soldiers going, he never took his eyes off Sariel and kept putting pressure on her with his oppressor. His unique skill normally wouldn't work against an ultimate skill. But this time, the attack worked and Sariel had to move back, even if it was only a little bit. People began dying and coming back to life over and over again. Someone who was good at healing started protecting soldiers from stray bullets without thinking about what would happen. The crowd had become more than angry, and they were attacking with even more anger than before. Unlike his old unique skill, King of Heroes, his new ultimate skill, could give him the minimum protection he needed to fight against other ultimate skills. A real upset to the balance. It was a strange power that could change the way a battle went just by having him there. The battle reached a temporary standstill and stayed that way for just over 10 minutes. Obviously, it was impossible to beat Cornu and Sariel together, but it was already clear who would win. As soon as Masayuki got the ultimate skill, King of Heroes, he knew what to do next. Now, the time had come, thanks to the warriors who bought them time. Velgrund was no longer in the world. At the same time, fate began to change.